All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive.
Definitely. Always ready to jump into these fascinating cases.
Well, today we're going deep on a case, a pretty controversial one, actually, involving law enforcement and an elderly woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the whole thing was caught on body cam.
Oh,
And we're going to be looking at it through the lens of this YouTube video we found by the civil rights lawyer. He really breaks it down.
interesting. So like a legal analysis of the footage.
Exactly. And the real question we're going to try to answer is, how did something that seems like a routine release from jail
Right.
turn into this whole alleged assault situation?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big jump. So where do we even, begin to unpack that? What's the context here?
Well, the video starts by setting the scene, just laying out the basic facts. It all went down late at night,
Okay.
October 7th last year, Sacramento County Jail.
Right.
And this elderly woman is being processed for release. Seems pretty straightforward, standard procedure,
Sure.
right?
Sign some papers, you're out of there.
Exactly. But even in the transcript, you can kind of pick up on this tension, like right from the get-go.
No, really.
Yeah, the deputy sounds impatient, and the woman, she's rambling a bit, seems confused.
Well.
And there's this detail, it really stood out to me, where the woman mentions being arrested for trespassing while she was grocery shopping.
Wait, trespassing while grocery shopping? That sounds
That's
strange. Like, how does that even happen?
Right, that's what I thought. And that's where the civil rights lawyer starts to dig deeper. He's like, was there even a legitimate reason for her arrest in the first place?
Hello.
Experience. Hi.
Hello, let me see your right hand. All right, just this one, okay?
Yeah.
We gotta go like this.
Yeah. What is this?
Because I gotta make sure that
This
you're...
is, it doesn't look like, what is this supposed to be? Anyway.
Okay, anyways. All right, so you have court.
I have court.
You have court.
Okay, this is a joke. They keep doing it.
No joke.
Grocery.
Stop
this will
talking.
not happen again, officers. No. We're honorable citizens, my husband and I. We own this beautiful home in the North Natomas area.
Okay.
And they've been trespassing in our backyards, on Carneros Creek, and I told them not to trespass. And they're not well. They use superstition, and they know your badges, your
That's fine,
name.
ma'am. Just go ahead and sign on that pad, okay?
This is very serious. They know you by badge, and they have you act in a certain
Good,
way,
good.
including eyes, and they're looking to make them aggressive through the department, ridicule them.
If
They
you want to
laugh
go home, you
sometimes.
gotta sign. Go ahead.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
I need my purse, please.
We'll give you all that stuff in just a moment, ma'am.
Okay, the purse.
Let's just finish the process.
I need
We'll
to
get you
go
your
home.
property.
Okay. I don't have my glasses, so it won't be very legible.
That's
All
fine.
right, as long as
Anyway,
you know
I don't
that's
want the
all that
court. Please erase that. Make a big X.
matters. Not gonna do that.
No, you cannot. I'm gonna read it. I'm not gonna go. There was a court
If you
for
don't
this.
go to jail, if you don't agree to go to court, you don't go
listen.
home.
What are you talking about?
You can
There
just
was
sign
a
the
court
form.
for this.
Okay, yeah, I see where he's going with that. So it's not just about what happened during the release, but potentially about this, chain of events that led up to it.
Exactly. Like, was this just a case of an elderly woman being difficult, or was there something more going on, a misunderstanding, or even, an overreaction by law enforcement?
Okay, so we've got some potential issues with the initial arrest, but you said this escalated even further. How so?
Well, the YouTube video shows that things really start to heat up. The deputy's language gets harsher. And the woman, she starts accusing the deputies of being controlled by criminals. Like, she's convinced there's this, I don't know, conspiracy.
Really?
One
So,
thing.
listen
Okay,
to me.
okay.
So, I need you to listen
Okay,
to
please
me.
don't touch me.
I need you to listen
Please
to me.
watch your contact, okay?
Okay.
Please stand back. You will need me to
You
sign.
need to stop talking and just
What?
listen to us.
What did you
Sign
say?
the form.
Look how
It's
they
very
make the
simple.
officers talk.
Sign the form.
Okay.
If you want
you
to
better
leave,
be
sign
more
the form.
polite. Try to be civilized.
I've been
right?
extremely polite with
Okay.
you
No,
in the
I'm a
5 hours that
citizen,
you've been
and we pay part of your
Okay.
salary in the police
That's
department.
fantastic.
We pay our
It's
taxes,
the sheriff's department.
and we are very. Please don't have another police to come
Oh my
and take
God.
me out of the grocery store
it.
for trespassing.
If you want to go home, sign
People,
it.
customers don't trespass.
Sign the form.
These people were trespassing. They have this. They are confused.
Okay. I have 3 questions for you. Please listen to me, okay?
Yes.
While you were here in jail, did you get
I
injured?
wasn't here. I wasn't in jail. I was in that room.
Okay. Again, I need you to not talk. Just focus on me. Listen to my questions.
Yes, but I'm correcting your statement.
Okay.
Okay, I was
While
in that
you were
room.
here in this building, did
Yes.
you get injured at all? While you were here in this building,
In my abdomen.
how did you get injured in your abdomen?
There is some bodily harm that these women cause.
Okay.
With AI.
Would you like to?
Okay, I'm not going to continue. I was not. Let's put it that way.
Okay, you were
Stop
not.
it.
Perfect.
I told you this, and okay. Your
Okay.
next question.
Next question. Would
Please.
you like to see a nurse?
No.
Okay. Do you have any complaints other than everything that you've already been saying over the past 5 hours?
Well, I have complaints about the contact, of course, and the fact that I'm here because I went to shop in a grocery store, and they have done this repeatedly. Look at your record. They want me out of the house. They took our IDs.
Complaints?
You want to hear what I'm saying?
I don't really. The
I
complaints.
don't want to hear what you
the
say,
complaints-
Deputy. Are you sheriff?
Do you have
Really?
complaints that were
Sheriffs and
happened
deputy
in this
sheriffs.
building?
I saw your problem. All the sheriffs and the deputy sheriffs. I said what's going on, and I have done, and I have made a comment last time here.
Just go ahead and sign
I'm
it.
just going to stand here and
How
listen
many
to it.
Two more,
signed.
that's it.
What do you mean
Two
two
more.
more? Okay, listen. Criminals are controlling your departments. I need a report, exactly what I signed. I'm gonna have a photocopy, right? Okay. I'm gonna report this to the police. You are the police, you are the sheriff. I reported you in the past, I reported, doesn't make any sense. We don't know where this goes. It can go to any criminal entity. And these women, trust me, they're criminals, and they're dumb criminals because they're dumb. They're dumb, and they wanna make dumb sheriffs and police.
Wow. So things are getting pretty intense.
Yeah, you can practically feel the tension through the screen.
I bet. So at this point, it's obviously gone way beyond just signing some paperwork.
Right. And that's when the lawyer in the video, he brings in the Fourth Amendment.
The Fourth Amendment. Okay, so like unreasonable search and seizure.
That's the one. He's arguing that even if the arrest was justified, which we still don't know for sure,
Right.
the way the deputies are behaving during this release, that could be a violation of her Fourth Amendment rights.
Okay, interesting. So even if they were in the right to arrest her initially, they might have like overstepped their boundaries during the release.
That's what the lawyer's suggesting. Of course, whether that would hold up in court, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, for sure. But it definitely adds another layer of complexity to this whole thing.
Totally. And then, well, this is where things get really unsettling.
Uh-oh.
So the video shows the deputies, they're escorting the woman out, and suddenly one of the deputies, he just shoves her
What? Like out the door?
right through the door. She falls like hard onto the pavement outside. It's rough.
Oh my gosh. So they just shove her out the door and that's it? No, like trying to help her up or anything.
Well, and here's the thing that really gets me. Right before he shoves her, the deputy says, "Have a good night."
No way. He just casually shoves this elderly woman out the door and tells her to have a good night.
Yep. And that's what the YouTube creator is highlighting. You know, he's saying this shows a complete disregard for her well-being.
It doesn't appear to me that she even signed the form. It's like she was about to sign the form, and then this deputy lost his temper, and he yanked the pen thing away from her. Then, like a pack of hyenas, the deputies sort of surround this woman. They grab her.
Okay.
Start walking this way.
Don't push me.
Shut the up.
What?
Just start walking
What
this
are
way.
you doing?
She's escorted out of the building by multiple deputies, one of which is accusing her of having assaulted his colleague, which everyone there knows she did not do.
What
Your
are you
hands to
doing?
yourself.
What are you
Start walking
doing?
this
What
way.
are you doing?
We're escorting you outside because you can't go without assaulting my partner.
Me, I assaulted you.
Yes, you did. You're okay.
Okay, they're controlling you. Be careful.
You'll be okay.
They want to sue the department. I'm telling you. They want to sue the department.
Okay.
Okay, this is terrible contact. This is contact.
You'll be okay.
This is outside.
You're gonna be
This is
reported.
outside.
FBI is overseeing this and how you are.
Stop talking.
As they get towards the doors of the building, one of the deputies can be heard on camera saying, "Have a good night," and then she is brutally shoved out the door.
Have a good night.
You'll be okay.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And that's where he starts using terms like assault and battery. He's basically arguing that the deputy's actions cross the line legally.
So, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but battery, that implies the use of force, right?
Right. Yeah. And in this case, the lawyer's building this argument that the shove wasn't legally justified. You know, like the woman wasn't posing any threat.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not like she was like resisting arrest or anything.
Not from what we see in the video. And this is where the whole issue of power dynamics comes into play. You've got this elderly woman, clearly confused and a little disoriented.
Right.
And she's up against these armed officers. It's a pretty stark visual, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. It really highlights that power imbalance.
The lawyer's point is that the shove and the fact that there weren't any immediate repercussions for the deputy, it speaks to a sense of impunity within law enforcement. Like he felt like he could get away with it.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
And then there's the delayed response. The video points out that it took the footage going viral on Reddit for the department to even place the deputy on leave.
Oh, wow. So they only took action after it became a public thing.
Exactly. It makes you wonder if they would have done anything at all if it hadn't blown up online.
Right, like did it only become real because it was publicly exposed? This case, and all the attention it's gotten online, it could maybe act as a deterrent for law enforcement, you know?
I hope so. But the YouTube video goes beyond just this one incident. The lawyer really seems to be saying this is about something much bigger.
What do you mean, like a wider problem?
Yeah, like systemic issues within law enforcement. But
Okay.
we'll need to get into all that after the break.
Yeah, so the YouTube video, the lawyer really goes in on how this incident, it isn't just some isolated thing.
Right.
But like it's a symptom of this much larger problem. You know, he's saying it points to this pattern of excessive force by law enforcement.
Especially, it seems, toward vulnerable people. I mean, that's pretty disturbing. It really makes you question the training and the culture within police departments, you know?
Exactly. And it's not just the deputy who did the shoving either.
Yeah.
The video points out that none of the other deputies there, they didn't do anything. Like no one stepped in.
Yeah.
No one even questioned what happened.
It's like that saying, see something, say something, just doesn't apply to them. You'd hope that police officers would be held to a higher standard.
Right. You'd think they'd be more likely to intervene. You know, prevent something like this from happening.
Sure.
But the reality is, it's complicated.
Yeah.
The dynamics within law enforcement, they can make it really hard for officers to challenge each other.
Especially if it's someone with more authority.
Exactly. There's this sense of loyalty, this code of silence.
Yeah.
And it makes it tough to hold each other accountable.
The video also talks about how all this, this whole incident, it can really damage public trust in the police.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is a huge problem because you need that trust.
Right. You can't have effective policing without trust.
Exactly.
When things like this happen, it erodes that trust.
Yeah.
Especially in communities that already have a strained relationship with law enforcement.
Like they already feel targeted or unfairly treated.
Exactly. And it feeds into this perception that there are these double standards.
That certain groups get treated differently.
Right. And that there's no real accountability.
The lawyer in the video, he actually calls out the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office and the district attorney's office specifically.
Really?
Yeah, and he's urging people to contact them, demand justice.
Wow. So he's not just analyzing the video, he's trying to get people involved to actually do something.
Yeah, it's like he's using this as a platform for activism, like trying to mobilize people through social media to push for some kind of change.
That's pretty powerful. Makes you wonder if they'll actually respond, you know?
Yeah.
The sheriff's office, the DA's office, to this kind of pressure from the public.
Right. Like, will this actually lead to any real reforms within the department?
Or will they just kind of wait for it to blow over, for the public outrage to die down and then go back to business as usual?
So we're back to our big question. Was this whole thing just a routine situation that went off the rails? Or does it point to something broken in the system?
I mean, based on what we're seeing in the video and knowing all the stuff about police conduct and accountability, it's hard to just write it off as a one-time thing, an isolated incident.
Right.
I think the lawyer makes a pretty strong case. You know that there are these systemic issues at play. It definitely needs to be investigated further. Like, this can't just be ignored.
And then there's the part where the woman claims she was injured in custody, like before the release even happened. And the deputy just kind of brushes her off, doesn't seem to care at all.
Oh, yeah, that's a big red flag, too.
It makes you wonder about how they treat people in that jail.
Right. Like, do they even care about the well-being of the people they're holding?
If she's saying she was hurt while she was in custody, it makes you question the conditions in the jail itself, the medical care they provide, the whole way they treat people behind bars.
It's like what happens inside those places, it's often hidden.
Totally.
There's not a lot of transparency. And when that happens, it's easy for abuse to happen or neglect.
The video makes this point, too, that if it hadn't been filmed, if it hadn't been shared online, this whole incident probably would have just disappeared.
Right, like no one would have even known it happened.
It's kind of scary to think about all the other times something like this might have happened, but there was no one there to film it.
That's why it's so important to have this kind of, independent investigations, more oversight of what's happening within police departments, a culture where people feel safe reporting misconduct.
Both from within the police force and from the community.
Exactly.
It feels like we're at this point where technology is forcing us to face these deep-rooted problems. Like, we can't ignore them anymore.
I think you're right. Everyone has a smartphone now. Social media is everywhere. It's changing the way we see things. It creates more transparency.
But it also creates new challenges. At the end of the day, it's up to us as citizens to decide what we believe and what we're going to do about it.
I think that's a great takeaway. We've covered a lot of ground here, looked at different perspectives, and hopefully this deep dive has given you, the listener, the information you need to keep engaging with these really important issues.
Whether it's staying informed, contacting your representatives, or just talking about it with people you know, your voice matters. What you do matters.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive. It was a tough one, but an important one. Hopefully it gave you some things to think about. And remember, knowledge is power. The more we understand these complex issues, the better chance we have of creating a more just world for everyone.